गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। भवानी शंकरौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्थमीश्वरम्। रामस्मरणं श्रीरामशरणं रामस्मरणं रामस्मरणं श्रीरामशरणं श्रीरामशरणं रामनामं रामनामं अमृततुल्यं अमृततुल्यं रामनामं अमृततुल्यं राममन्त्रं राममन्त्रं परकैवल्यं परकैवल्यं राममन्त्रं परकैवल्यं रामध्यानं रामध्यानं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यं रामध्यानं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यं रामध्यानं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यं रामस्मरणं श्रीरामशरणं रामस्मरणं श्रीरामशरणं रामनामं अमृततुल्यं रामनामं अमृततुल्यं राममन्त्रं परकैवल्यं राममन्त्रं परकैवल्यं रामध्यानं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यं रामध्यानं ब्रह्मात्मैक्यं तष्टहरणं तष्टहरणं आपदहरणम् आपदहरणम् कष्टहरणम् आपदहरणम् कष्टहरणम् आपदहरणम् इष्टभरणम् इष्टभरणम् सम्पदभरणम् सम्पदभरणम् इष्टभरणम् सम्पदभरणम् इष्टभरणम् सम्पदभरणम् सन्तोषकरम् सन्तोषकरम् सुखशान्तिकरम् सुखशान्तिकरम् सन्तोषकरम् सुखशान्तिकरम् सन्तोषकरम् सुखशान्तिकरम् शुभकारणम् शुभकारणम् मङ्गलरूपम् मङ्गलरूपम् शुभकारणम् मङ्गलरूपम् शुभकारणम् मङ्गलरूपम् कष्टहरणम् आपदहरणम् इष्टभरणम् सम्पदभरणम् सन्तोषकरम् सुखशान्तिकरम् शुभकारणम् मङ्गलरूपम् रामस्मरणम् श्रीरामशरणम् रामस्मरणम् श्रीरामशरणम् रामनामम् अमृततुल्यम् रामनामम् अमृततुल्यम् राममन्त्रम् परकैवल्यम् राममन्त्रम् परकैवल्यम् रामस्मरणम् श्रीरामशरणम् रामस्मरणम् श्रीरामशरणम् 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 हरिः ओम। Mahatma Gandhi ji once said, all illness that human beings have or go through at times, all illness is the result of violating the law of nature or laws of nature. Gandhiji says, in other words, disease is a penalty for sin. Whatever disease the human beings get, it is a penalty of the sin committed, and the sin that is committed against the God. Gandhiji says, God and his laws are one and the same. They are one, they are not two. If anyone commits sin against the laws of God, it is committing the sin against God only. Because God and His laws both are one and the same. And not only this way Gandhiji teaches us that God and His laws are one and the same, the way out also Gandhiji teaches in the same manner, with the same thought. Gandhiji says, because God and His laws are one and the same, if we can get into the Rama Nama, Rama Nama, Rama Nama, Rama Mantra, Rama Japa, and Rama Nama holds the sway in us, Rama Nama holds the sway in us, then the sins get expiated. In other words, prayaschittam for the sins happens. If we do any mistake, generally in the Shastra it is that if you do prayaschittam, you will get cleared from that sin, expiated from that sin. Now Mahatma Gandhiji says, if we get into Ramanama to such an extent that Ramanama holds the sway inside us, then the sin or sins get expiated and all illnesses will vanish. Why? Because God and His laws are one and the same. Because we went against the laws, sin was committed and illnesses came. Now God, Nama is God. So if we take that Nama into us to such an extent that it fills us completely, then the sins that are there, they will get expiated. Illnesses will vanish. What a beautiful remedy Mahatma Gandhiji is giving. Gandhiji says, I assure you of the potency of Ramanama, and I will demonstrate it in my own life. That's what Mahatma Gandhiji says. Because anything he said, he demonstrated. If he said truth, he demonstrated. If he said non-violence, he demonstrated. If he said love, he demonstrated. Whatever he said, we can see it 100% in Mahatma Gandhiji's living. Very rarely we can find such souls, especially in the political field also. A saint in the politics. Very rare. To this extent. Gandhiji clearly said, I am determined to demonstrate it in my own life. This he did not say when his state of health was normal. This he said when his health was affected. His people who are around him, near and dear, various other people, sevaks, they came and said, please take this medicine, please take that medicine, please take this injection. He did not accept anything. He said, I have this Ramanama. I must wish to live only to serve Him. And only according to His grace, by His grace, I will continue to live. He decides that His servant has to serve Him. So He will keep me. Only through His grace alone I will continue to live. And then Gandhiji says, when calamities happen to people, if the person has understood the importance of Bhagavan Nama and Bhagavan Mahima, and if that person is doing all the activities with the name of the God in his mind and lips and then surrendering everything to God, then such an individual will always find something to learn even in the calamity. Gandhiji said there are two ways of meeting calamities. One way is to get perturbed, to get enraged, and to get into miserable situation. perturbed, enraged and meet the calamity and then get into miserable situation. General lot tries this way only. The moment they face the calamity, get perturbed, then enraged and then get into miserable situation. Another way is, when an individual faces the calamity, understand clearly that for no fault of yours this calamity is there, and then continue to have belief in God, faith in God, of course trust also in God, continue to have, and seek help from God. When calamities happen, know for sure that for no fault of oneself it has happened. It has happened. It is happening. So one cannot do anything about it. So it is happening. So continue to have belief in God, faith in God, trust in God, and seek help from God. Then Mahatma Ji says, then in the midst of calamity, we can create happiness. In calamity, in the midst of calamity, one can create happiness. Because God will certainly help and God will make it happen. Gandhiji never said, I can make it happen or you can make it happen. He always said, trust God, God will make it happen. So calamity, it is not an ordinary situation. When we meet calamity, we can meet it this way. And Gandhiji himself met these things in this way. That is why even the people who were against him, who troubled him, who imprisoned him, also said Gandhiji never lost the sense of humor. How much our tough situation it might be which he is facing, but he never lost the sense of humor. Gandhiji held on to Bhagavan Rama's Nama all through the life. It all started in his childhood, when his family nurse, who was attending the service to his family, especially whenever Gandhiji was not well, this nurse was only taking care of Gandhiji as a child. The name of the nurse is Rambha, an elderly woman. She noticed that Mahatma Gandhiji in his childhood was having some timidness. Suppose this is darkness, he was not really dare enough to go there, little bit timid. Like that there was some timidness. And then this woman said, Rambha said to Gandhiji, hold on to Ramanama, chant Ramanama. All your fears will vanish. Nobody will be able to do anything to you. Nothing can happen to you. You will be protected, you will be saved. When he was a child, when he was a kid, that entered into Gandhiji. He at that time had no understanding of Rama, no faith in Rama or anybody, but he had faith in Rambha because she was nursing and taking care, believed, accepted. And later on we know what happened. That continued with Mahatma Gandhiji. Always it was there with him. The seed sown by this elderly woman Rambha helped Mahatma Gandhiji throughout his life and guided him. That means how important it is for us to teach children about the higher values and about the ideals. Not simply leave that iPad and iPhone and then Android phone, because who will have time, who has patience to take care of them, and then they will go on touching and then pushing and pulling and then swiping. So values have to be inculcated. Gandhiji, because he was refusing medicines, one person came and gave suggestion, please take Ayurvedic medicine, please take nature cure medicine, because Gandhiji himself was advocating so many things to people. So please take this, please take that. Earth treatment, water treatment. Gandhiji said, even earth treatment and water treatment are unnecessary for the one who is possessed by the healing mantra of Ramanama. One who has that Ramanama, then it will only heal. This is the advice I give to all. Gandhiji said, I don't have a magic wand or a sword. I have only one weapon, that is the name of God. And to do all work in that name of God, everything can be accomplished. Gandhiji says, if we do our work in the name of God, everything can be accomplished by following this path of holding on to name of God, because God can do miracles, not the individual who is holding on to the name. God can do miracles. If you hold on to the God's name, God will perform miracles. And Gandhiji said, I had been fighting for freedom, for many things, and I have only two things with me, truth and non-violence. In 1940s, Gandhiji said, for the past 60 years I had been fighting only by the help of truth and non-violence. That is all I have. And he was tremendously successful. Mahatma Ji said, my physician is Rama. My physician is Rama. The best and the most unfailing remedy for all ills is Ramanama. One who has Ramanama inscribed in his heart and reigning on his lips, then there is no need for any other treatment. Gandhiji is so sure, once Nama is there in the heart and on the lips, there is no need for any other treatment. Gandhiji said, I have firm faith in Ramanama. Rama is the savior, and this body is a temporary thing, a transient thing. It may live in one moment, it may die in another moment. But the one who has installed Rama in one's own heart, Ramanama in oneself, such a person will remain forever. Meaning he will become immortal, he will never die. One of the close associates of Mahatma Gandhi, Vinoba Bhave, we know him, he is again another very noble, pious soul. The great Bhudan movement, he is very famous. So it is all inspired by Gandhiji only. And Vinoba Bhave says, Gandhiji was more like a mother, even though he was called as father of the nation. Gandhiji was more like a mother, an affectionate, motherly, noble man. Vinoba Bhave says, Bapu means Gandhiji was exactly a karma yogi as per Bhagavad Gita. Whatever was mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as karma yoga, Vinoba Bhave says Gandhiji exactly lived his life like that. He was so indifferent to the world and worldly things. Vinoba Bhave says it is very rare to find such a soul, such an individual. I have seen him as an embodiment of saintly virtues. In this great man, there are saintly virtues. I had the privilege of staying with him, and something he says now very remarkable. Every person who stayed with him felt his vices vanished. Whatever negativities were there, by staying with such a pious Mahatma, their negativities vanished, and pettiness was replaced by open-heartedness. Individuals have their own pettiness. Just merely by staying with Mahatma Gandhiji, their pettiness was replaced with open-heartedness. And Gandhiji, according to Vinoba Bhave, helped so many people to uplift themselves, to raise their levels of consciousness, and enhanced their self-importance. It seems some people used to go and tell Gandhiji, because he was always talking about God, higher values, oneness, everywhere equal, everybody equal, only truth, only non-violence, only love. So it seems few of the people said, you are not a person to be here, go to Himalaya. They told Gandhiji also, you have to be in Himalaya because you are talking all such things only here. Go and stay in Himalaya. And then it seems Gandhiji said, if you would go to Himalaya, then I would definitely follow you. If you would go to Himalaya, then I would definitely follow you. But if you stay here, this humble man would stay here to serve you. But if you stay here, this humble man would stay here to serve you. The servant follows the master. Gandhiji said, the servant follows the master. I am a servant. You are here, so I will be here to serve you. And then he said, whenever poverty and exploitation are to be eliminated and help to be offered, poverty and exploitation have to be eliminated and help to be offered, that is my Himalaya. There exists my Himalaya. It's very clear now. Gandhiji's Himalayas are there where people are being exploited and people are in poverty, and poverty has to be eliminated, exploitation has to be eliminated, help has to be given. That itself is Himalaya for Mahatma Gandhi. What a person. What a definition he is giving to going to Himalayas. What an understanding. People, when they are suffering, when they are in poverty, when they are being exploited, when my help is required, that is Himalayas. Where should I go? Why should I go to Himalaya? In fact, for Mahatma Gandhi, what is the need to go to Himalaya? He has already gone there. What people attain by going there is already there. Gandhiji said, I am more and more inclined towards relying on Rama. One who relies on him can never be a careless person. It is not carelessness, it is carefulness only. Such a person relying on him only becomes more and more indifferent to outward treatment. And in doing so, it can be tested whether Rama Nama has or has not reached his inner being. If Rama Nama not remains only on the lips and the mind and the outer levels, but if it has reached inner being, that is the test. If it has reached inner being, Rama Nama will take care. Rama Nama is the greatest medicine. It is absolutely infallible. Gandhiji says, like the arrow of Sri Rama, like the Rama Bana, Rama Nama also is like that, which never failed. Rama Banam never failed. And Gandhiji says Rama Namam also will not fail. When we take Rama Nama to our being and trust him, and all the illness will be removed by this medicine called as Rama Nama. And real help, according to Gandhiji, comes only from God. When I am doing whatever I am doing today, I do that in the name of God. I trust him completely. If I trust him completely, for the sake of petty illness, why should I give up this trust in Rama Nama and depend upon medicine? It is about his own life he is telling. When I rely upon him, when I trust him, when I have faith in him, why should I leave that faith for the sake of dependency on medicine? I do not want to do it. Minor illness I have, and you people say that I have to depend upon the medicine. Why should I? I depend upon that only. And Gandhiji said, if God wants something to be done by me, he will keep me. If he doesn't want anything to be done by me, he will take me. I leave it unto him. And Gandhiji says, how one should repeat Namanama? One should repeat Ramanama by forgetting desire, forgetting anger, forgetting attachment, forgetting infatuation, in fact forgetting everything of the world. One should repeat Nama. And one should never ever forget Rama Nama itself. Have faith in Ramanama. Don't allow your repetition of Nama to be interfered by desire or anger or attachment or infatuation, etc., etc. Then that will sink into the individuals and reaches the being. Thereafterwards, Ramanama takes care. When Gandhiji was in South Africa and he was leading the movement against the British government there also, we have already discussed a few incidents, and people used to follow Gandhiji, and when they were doing the Satyagraha, this non-violent movement in South Africa, Indian people were sent to jail. That's what the government used to do, put them in jail so that the movement subsides. And many men who were participating, they were all jailed. Gandhiji also was jailed. And when men go away, all the women and children who were there, they were left unattended. And when Gandhiji was released from the jail and these men still there, Gandhiji used to find time to meet these women and children. He would visit them from these families and he would assure them many a times of good that is going to happen to them. All these troubles will vanish. And also Gandhiji personally used to help them. The people who were there at that time, they only mentioned this. And few of these people, women who were there, unattended by men because they were in jail, a good number of them were given accommodation in Tolstoy farm, which was maintained by Gandhiji in South Africa. So one day, Gandhiji went to the nearby river to wash his clothes. Then he saw women trying to attend to the children also, little children, and then trying to wash clothes also. Unable to do both the jobs simultaneously. So Gandhiji looked at them and he went there. Then that day, he went to those women and said, please listen to me. Today, let me wash your clothes. Gandhiji, let me wash your clothes. River is very far. Do not attempt to go to the river. I will take care. Then all the women said, how can we allow Gandhiji to wash the clothes? But he went on insisting and showering affection, insisting and showering love. And they were overpowered by that. They could not do anything anymore. He was such a person, he gets what he wants. But all for the sake of others only, not for his sake. So then finally it seems he collected all the clothes, then stacked them up, then put them on his back, very big, huge one, then went to the river, washed all the clothes, their children of clothes also, dried them, folded them, got them back and gave it to them. What a person Gandhiji is. That is what Vinoba Bhave told, he is mother, more like a mother. So he folded and gave them all to those women. How much blessed they would feel that Gandhiji did all this for them. So he was such a simple, loving, affectionate person, never used to maintain any levels. He was down to earth with all of them. They were all touched by Mahatma Gandhiji's motherly compassion. he always tried to discover God in people. That's what he used to say, God in people. Gandhiji said, God cannot be found only in temples or other places of worship created by man, nor he can be found by observing austerities, keeping fast, maintaining vows, and so on. God can be found only through love. And that love should not be worldly love, but divine love. God can be found only through love, but that love should not be worldly love, but a divine love. Gandhiji refers to Mirabai, Sant Mirabai, and says, Mirabai saw God in everything and lived constantly in such divine love. For her, God was simply all in all. God was simply all in all. And for Mahatma Gandhiji also it was the same. Gandhiji said, we cannot hold God in our hands. We cannot perceive Him with our limited eyes or hear Him with our ears. Please understand, according to Gandhiji says, He is beyond our physical senses. But He alone is real. What our physical senses see, that is not real. Senses themselves are not real. We who have the senses, we are not real. But God is real. And somebody asked him, how do you say that God is real and we are not real? He said, we live in this moment. Is there a guarantee that the one who lives in this minute will remain in next minute, next moment? No. Next moment, one person who was there just before can vanish, can go out of existence, may there not be anymore. But God is not like that. God is always there. God is ever present. That God is infinite presence. Everywhere He is there, at all times He is there, He is beyond the time, space and objectivity as per Vedanta. Same thing Gandhiji was telling them. I and you may not remain. How much ever real we may think about ourselves, neither I will remain nor you will remain. The one who remains in this moment may disappear, vanish, die and go. May there be no more. That is why we are all unreal. And who remains forever, who is always there, that God alone can be real. What lives forever, that alone is reality, and that reality is God. And God, which is that reality, who lives forever, is capable of doing anything. We who vanish in next moment, we are not capable of doing anything and everything. God alone is capable of doing anything and everything. So we have to rely upon God. After Gandhiji came back to India from South Africa for good, for some time, few of the members of Gandhiji's Phoenix Ashram in South Africa, Gandhiji had few places in South Africa also for the service of the people. So they also came, Gandhiji also was there, and there were few others who were, including Kelkarji, who is narrating this incident directly, where they were all there in Shantiniketan for some time. And when they were in Shantiniketan, on few occasions they used to spend time with Bapu in the evenings till night, discussions and all. And in the morning time, for a couple of weeks I think, they had one work. All other people except Gandhiji, they were all taking care of one work. That work is, there was a pond and a hill nearby. They were supposed to dig the hill and fill the pond. That was their work. They had their own plans. So every day these people used to go and do the work. So one day when they went early in the morning to do the work, and they used to come back for breakfast, after having breakfast again they will go work and come back by lunch. So one day when they went for doing this job, serving, it was only service that was offered, and when they came back they saw all their breakfast plates were very nicely arranged, and the breakfast placed in them. Side by side fruits also were placed. Everything was arranged. They were surprised. How can this happen? All those people who are there, they wanted to do service, everybody went there. Who will do it? And then they came across Gandhiji. So, this Kelkarji went and then asked in front of all, who did this? How can this happen? Gandhiji said, I only did this. Why? I had some time. So I thought I will prepare breakfast for you so that you can save your time. You can save your time. Otherwise you have to come here and then arrange your breakfast and then eat. I saved your time. I had some time. And how can you do this, Mahatma Ji? How can we deserve such things? Why did you do this? And Gandhiji said, you deserve this because you did labor, you did service, you did work. One who does labor deserves to eat. So you did it. You did it for sake of the service. You did all that and you came back. So I have given it to you. So meticulously planned and arranged. All by Gandhiji, one person. So that is where people could also see the motherliness in Mahatma Gandhiji. That Gandhiji was mother also, not only a father. And if we remember it right, first person to address Mahatma Gandhiji as father of the nation, according to the history, is Subhash Chandra Bose ji, Netaji. When he was broadcasting through the radio, the opinions were different. Subhash Chandra Bose ji, Netaji wanted to gain freedom through fighting, violence. Gandhiji was against it. But even though that ideologically they are different, Gandhiji will never be against any individual. That Gandhiji has very clearly said. So, Subhash Chandra Bose ji addressed during his radio broadcast Gandhiji as father of the nation. Since then it caught up, father of the nation. And Mahatma Gandhiji also, after Congress Working Committee did not accept his proposal to keep India united, because British played their game, whatever they have to play, before leaving, split and go. And then at that time, we have already discussed about that, when Jawaharlal Nehru ji, Sardar Patel ji and all of them were for partition, because the situation went out of control and all. But Gandhiji still was saying, even now, truth and non-violence will win if we are all ready to fight it out. But Gandhiji said, you are not prepared to listen to this old man. So, before you take the final resolution, I will leave the Congress Working Committee meeting. So he left. But at that time it seems, he said to others, few of the people, if Subhash Chandra Bose was there, he would never have allowed this to happen. Gandhiji himself. Meaning how much of love and respect they had for each other, Netaji and Bapuji. Please understand that. So then, finally, when the independence has come, but Gandhiji was not there, where the flag was hoisted, where everything was taken, he was not there. He was busily serving, putting down the fires of rioting between the communities. So at that time, Babu Rajendra Prasad, the President of Constituent Assembly, on 15th August 1947, says something very high about Mahatma Gandhiji. Babu Rajendra Prasad ji says that day, Mahatma Gandhiji represents that undying spirit of our culture which has kept India alive through all the changes of our history. He it is who pulled us out of slough of despond and inspired us into spirit which enabled us to stand up for justice, to claim our birthright of freedom. He placed in our hands the matchless and unfailing weapon of truth and non-violence, which without arms and armaments has won for us the invaluable prize of Swaraj, in a manner which, when the history of these times comes to be written, will be regarded as incredible for a country of our size and for the teeming millions of our population. Let us all prove true to that faith. Meaning, he very clearly said, it is only because of Gandhiji all the leaders were inspired from their passive state into the dynamism of satyagraha and ahimsa, truth and non-violence. It is he who inspired everybody. And at the same time, Lord Mountbatten also was present in exchange of these things, power and all. He says, at this historic moment, let us not forget all that India owes to Mahatma Gandhi. What a statement. Who is saying this? It is not an Indian who is saying. It is Lord Mountbatten, who was the representative of British rule. He says, at this historic moment, let us not forget all that India owes to Mahatma Gandhi, the architect of India's freedom. There were so many leaders, no doubt, but the architect of India's freedom through non-violence. Let us not forget him. And he says, we miss his presence here today and would have him know how much he is in our thoughts. It is the same Lord Mountbatten who said, Gandhiji will be on par with Buddha and Jesus Christ. They recognized Mahatma Gandhiji's level of evolution. And Gandhiji always was very clear of what his goal is. Serving humanity and realizing God through service. Gandhiji said, I do not want to attain moksha. When people are in poverty, when people are in need, when people are in need of help and all that. But I do want to attain moksha. I do not want to be reborn. But if I have to be reborn, Gandhiji says, I should be born as an untouchable, so that I may share their sorrows and suffering and the treatment that other people give to them, and then I may find my way to liberation and for myself and for all of them. He wants to liberate all untouchables also from the sorrow and suffering that they undergo, from the miserable condition that they face. He says, it is sin to believe anyone is inferior and anyone else is superior to ourselves. We are all equal. None is high, none is low. For the one who would devote his life to service, all are equals. And Gandhiji always gave importance to practice and not prattling. That is why Gandhiji said, an ounce of practice is worth more than tons of preaching. His Gandhiji was very clear about this. And at that time, Gandhiji came to know that somewhere a person was planning to build the temple of Gandhiji. Already work started. Gandhiji felt very, very uncomfortable about this. Gandhiji said, no man is said to be good when he is alive, before his death. Because people can see so many things in him. You cannot say. There will be always people who will say he is not good. No man can be said to be good before his death. And after the death too, he is good for the person who believes in him, not for others. So, Gandhiji said, hence, the safest thing is not to worship any person, living or dead. He was against that personality worship. Safest thing is not to worship any person, living or dead, but worship perfection which resides only in God. And that is truth. Worship only God as truth, because perfection resides only there. And Gandhiji said, I would feel relieved if the owner of that temple removed the statue or image or idol of Mahatma Gandhi and placed one spinning wheel there. And where poor people can come and sit inside the temple and spin their wheels and take the thread out and earn something for them. And there are always others who would come and help and do sacrifice and service there. And then it will be a temple, real temple, and this will be temple according to the teaching of Sri Krishna in Gita. That is a temple of Gita in action, and that is true worship. And Gandhiji says, and that is true worship of it and me. That is the real worship. So Gandhiji was very clear. He was not ready for anybody treating him at that level and building any temple for him. He very clearly told, it should be Gita in action. That should be the temple which should be built. And then continuing further, Gandhiji said, it is my constant prayer that I may never have a feeling of anger against my traducers. Traducers meaning the people who defame, slander, make false statements, make malicious statements. So there were people who were making malicious statements and false statements against Mahatma Gandhi because they didn't understand. So Gandhiji says, may I not have a feeling of anger against my traducers, and even if I fall a victim to an assassin's bullet, I may deliver up my soul with the remembrance of God upon my lips. I shall be content to be written down as an impostor if my lips utter a word of anger or abuse against the assailant at the last moment. He very clearly said, consider me as an impostor, as a fake. If in my last moment, if somebody kills me through a bullet, and if I utter any word of anger against him, and there is no trust in God, and if God's name is not there on my lips, then you can consider me as an impostor. Before he departed only he knew, and he very clearly said, and what happened in the end? Only through Ramanama he left the body. And Gandhiji said, have I this non-violence of the brave in me? What I was teaching? And my death alone will show that. If someone killed me, and if I died with a prayer for the assassin in my heart, I die with a prayer in my heart for the assassin on my lips, and God's remembrance and consciousness of His living presence in the sanctuary of my heart. If I remember God and if I am conscious of His presence in my heart, then alone would I be said to have had the non-violence of the brave. And he made one statement which is very, very unique. He said, if someone were to shoot me in the belief that he was getting rid of a rascal, if someone were to shoot me in the belief that he was getting rid of a rascal, he would kill not the real Gandhi, but the one that appeared to him a rascal. If somebody thinks Gandhi is a rascal and he tries to shoot him, he would not kill the real Gandhi. He would kill only that person who appeared to him as a rascal. Because he perceives like that, he kills that perception, not the real Gandhi. Gandhi himself was clear. Rajoji Bhai Patel, another associate of Gandhi, tells this one beautiful incident. Once, in one evening, Gandhiji conducted the prayer meeting, and then that day Gandhiji also conducted, with the help of others, a Ramayana part, recitation of Ramayana. Few of the people, including Rajoji Bhai Patel and Devdas and others, they were observing all this, but they were near that kutira where Gandhiji used to be there. At that time it was all dark, so it seems this Patel ji was there inside, Devdas went outside, and then in that dark, and suddenly came back and then told the people who were inside that there is something there. So Rajoji Bhai Patel and others went there, and they recognized, they saw a big snake hiding behind the water tank. Huge snake. It was almost 8 feet 8 feet huge snake. So, in order to deal with those snakes, they used to have a silken noose, a stick with a silken noose. A stick with a silken noose. So they used to have that skill, they press that snake near that hood so that it cannot sting anybody. It is arrested in movement, and with that slowly they catch hold of it and then they leave it somewhere or place it somewhere. So that day, because they saw it and they utilized that stick with a silken noose and they caught it. Caught it means they pressed it near the head, hood, and it was not able to move it. They were pressing it. By the time Gandhiji came there, and Gandhiji, when he came there, he looked at it and said, "Why are you pressing it like that? It will get hurt. Snake is a beautiful creature. Why are you doing this? Loosen the grip. Let it not get hurt." When Gandhiji said that, what can they do? They were all followers of Gandhiji. Whatever Gandhiji says, they will do. Inside there was fear in them. अरे if you अब तक तो पकड़ के रखे, उसको दबा के रखे, अब निकाल दिया तो क्या होगा? Gandhi said, loosen it. And they loosened it to such an extent that it can escape and go away. And then it seems, Patelji says, Gandhiji, Bapuji went near the snake, bent down and started expressing his love and affection to the snake by caressing it. Snake, bhaiya, snake, real live snake, 8 feet. He bent down and started caressing it. The moment they loosened their grip earlier, it started hissing and then moving and all that, agitated, disturbed. The moment Gandhiji bent down and started touching it and like a child, Rajoji Bhai Patel says, Gandhiji is thinking it is a child, a baby is caressing. So he is caressing it. All the agitation of that snake vanished. All the disturbing levels of snake vanished. It suddenly became very quiet and calm. Patelji says, experiencing the love of Gandhiji, the compassionate, divinely expressed love of Gandhiji, the snake became still and motionless. It went on receiving the love and caress and affection of Gandhi. Gandhiji, it seems, he did it 3 times. That snake went on doing this like that, from here to there. Gandhiji. The snake was still, silent, quiet, receiving all this. We have heard in our scriptures, we have seen in the lives of the masters that all the animals, when they come in front of the great master who is highly evolved and attained, they lose their inimical tendencies, they lose their instincts, they behave as if they are full of love. We have seen in Rishi's lives, we have seen in Mahapurusha's lives. Is Gandhi anything lesser than that? It is a snake, and he expressed his love for the snake. That is the day when Rajoji Bhai Patel said, Gandhiji is not only for human beings, Gandhiji is for all beings, all living beings, for all people. He loves everybody. That's what Gandhiji used to say. God exists in all, and I love all because God exists in all. The snake responded so lovingly, Gandhiji caressed it, and it was quiet, silent. It didn't want to move afterwards, Patelji says. And then Gandhiji got up and then said, take it away and then leave it far, let it go away. And it didn't move, it seems. It was just there. It didn't want to come out of that state. We do not know to what state Gandhiji transported it by his love and touch, by his divinity. Because godliness was inside Gandhiji. And it is not ordinary person expressing that love. Where is fear? Where is that fright? Where is that other viewpoint, seeing that venom in the snake, hood of the snake? negativity in the snake. Gandhiji says it's a beautiful creature. Beauty in snake. The man who sees God in all, sees godliness in all, sees only godly beauty in all. Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. He sees Sundaram only in all. Because he is Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram. So then these people lifted the snake and then left it at a far away place. The moment they placed it again onto the ground, it started crawling and left. Who knows to what state it went because of the love of Gandhiji. That was the love that was being expressed by Mahatma Gandhiji towards the beings. Who can give such love? If anybody has any other view, can they love anybody like that? Gandhiji never hated anybody. Never he could hate anybody. Which was even told by Kanchi Kamakoti Pitadipati ji also, that Gandhiji went beyond that hatred. No other inspiring ideal is there as Gandhiji. Because he was always holding on to God in all. That is why Gandhiji loved Advaita, because it is oneness in all. And he can only love everybody. Gandhiji said once, see, it was impossible for me to hate anybody in this world. My firm belief in God helped me lead a pious life. Gandhiji, my firm belief in God helped me to lead a pious life. In 1930s and near into 40s, he says, for the past 40 years, it has been utterly impossible for me to hate anyone or to strongly dislike anyone. 40 years. Impossible for him to hate anybody, to dislike anybody. Then somebody asked him, then how you are against the British? Then Gandhiji says, see, whenever a misdeed is committed, I shall be there to condemn it. A misdeed is committed, I shall be there to condemn it firmly. I really do as I say. Gandhiji is not a person of saying one thing, doing something. No, I really do as I say. I will be there to condemn it. I don't approve of Britishers' tyranny, the reign of terror, dictatorship. I despise it too. I not only not approve it, but I hate it also. I strongly hate their inhuman policy of exploiting Indians. I hate their inhuman policy of exploiting Indians. I strongly hate this. Likewise also, I hate the shameful practice of untouchability by Hindus, which is observed by many people. But I do not hate the British people. I do not hate the Hindu people. The deed that they are doing, because it is affecting people, I hate. Their deeds I hate. I hate the way in which they are exploiting people, but not the persons. I don't hate the people. The system I am against. The exploitation I am against. The misdeeds I am against. I hate them, but not the people. Because Gandhiji says, why I don't hate them? Because I still believe that their attitude can be altered, their attitude can be changed by love and by other means. Gandhiji believes this. And it has happened in Gandhiji's life. We have seen few examples. Whenever people came to fight with him, to kill him, to finish him off, hurt him, kick him, he received it, he discussed it with them. Otherwise there were situations where he allowed the truth to be revealed, and then they all changed. Everybody changed. Even that person, Nathoram Godse, Gandhiji invited him for a discussion. Because he was writing articles against Gandhiji, expressing his hatred. And Gandhiji knew that he is misunderstanding. He has not understood things properly. So Gandhiji invited, but that fellow didn't come for discussion. He used to write certain things against Gandhiji. He wanted to clear, but he didn't come. But in life, many times Gandhiji cleared such doubts to people. And after that clarity came, they all became friends of Gandhiji and they started supporting and following Gandhiji. So Gandhiji is very clear. Kaka Kelkarji said, like a child learning how to by heart anything that child by hearts, Gandhiji learned Bhagavad Gita by heart. The entire Bhagavad Gita. He tried initially and then he saw Kakaji Kelkar was teaching children some slokas in Samskrita and all. So Gandhiji called him and said, please correct my pronunciation. If I am wrong, don't look at me as Gandhi, great, this, that. Correct me. And then Kelkarji says he got an opportunity in Yerawada jail when Gandhiji was jailed there to correct the pronunciation if there was any mispronunciation, and Gandhiji was immediately used to take pencil, put a line and repeat it continuously for few times till he got the correct chanting. And that is how Kaka Kelkar says Gandhiji by hearted the entire Bhagavad Gita, memorized completely. Completely Bhagavad Gita. How a child learns, he learns. Meaning it shows his simplicity in learning Bhagavad Gita. Anything he wants to learn, he learns like a child. Meaning he is such a nice person. Never ever he poses himself as anything because he knows he is nothing. Because he very clearly told people who follow non-violent movement, you understand you are nothing. And God alone does everything. And once it so happened, Gandhiji was advocating the entry of untouchables into Gujarat University. He said they can also enter into university, they can also learn, they can also study, they can also be the students. And that important board members of that university were Vaishnavites, followers of Vaishnavism. So they were opposing. No, untouchables cannot come. And finally they had a meeting and they decided, we will not allow. And if still Gandhiji insists that they have to be allowed, we will stop funding this college. Those days lakhs of rupees, not nowadays lakhs, which is nothing. Those days lakhs of rupees. We will stop funding. And couple of them went to Gandhiji to communicate this message. You don't insist upon this and all. Because they will stop funding, fund will not come. And Gandhiji said to them, if someone would offer me freedom for India, someone would offer me freedom for India at the cost of observing untouchability. By placing this condition, we will give you freedom, but provided you observe untouchability, I will not accept. If that alone I don't accept, what is this few lakhs of rupees? God will be there to take care. God will help the cause. And God helped and continued. That is why Gandhiji realized, when he relies on God, he helped, continued. One of the young girls who used to be there beside Gandhiji, towards the photos that are there towards his later part of his living, Manu Gandhi, his own granddaughter, says when they went to one village, The streets were so narrow. By then Gandhi was walking with the support of the stick. Streets were so narrow that Gandhiji could not take the help of the girls, or at least one girl, his own granddaughter, and Gandhiji was walking ahead by leaning onto the stick, and Manu was walking behind. Another girl was Abha. They were walking behind, and others were there. And it seems as they were walking through one of the village streets, which were very narrow, there was filth and fecal matter on the street. People discharged their stools there only on the street, and other filthy matter was there. Gandhiji then and there decided to clean it. He went near a tree, got the leaves of the trees, and started cleaning it. That filth and fecal matter, Gandhiji took it and placed it away, disposed it off somewhere else. And nowadays when Modiji gives a call for Swachha Bharat, they politicize it. It is Gandhiji's ideal. Swachha Bharat is not Modi's point. It is Mahatma Gandhiji's point. And it is not political. It is Gandhian ideal in action. Clean. He used to give so much of importance to cleanliness. He cleaned it. And when Manu Gandhi said, "Why did you do that?" He said, "Everybody will take it up. When they see I am doing it, they will remember this, they will all do it. They will keep it clean. When you go again and again, when Gandhi comes again and again, they will keep it clean." He was a practical person. Do it and show it. Live it and show it. Where can we find such a personality? Any value you see in him, he already implemented it, practiced it, lived it, and then only he guides people. Only through that living, he was guiding everybody. That is why Gandhiji is a unique person, par excellence, beyond all human comprehension. For the people who saw only as a political leader, their vision is very narrow. Because Gandhiji was much more than all this. Actually, he was a highly evolved saint in the political field. Only to teach people, if somebody tells those days Bhagavan Sri Krishna was there, and then he was always involved in all kinds of activities, yet he was there. People may say, that was Dwapara Yuga. Kisko pata? Kaun dekha? And if people say, Ramachandraji was there, he was facing every single issue that a human being faces, but with a different level of consciousness. That is Treta Yuga. Kaun dekha? Kaun jana? And there were always people who say, somebody might have written a story. And that is why Einstein already told. After some time people say this also is a story. And that is why probably God wanted to show that it is possible for a human being to do it. That is why He made Gandhi godly. He lived it. When? 19th century. 1948, he left the body. 1869, he was born. 1948, 79 years he was there. And there are photos of Gandhi. There are still some videos of Gandhi. There were people who were there till few years before, who saw Gandhi, who lived with Gandhi. Mahatma Ji. All the people who lived with Gandhiji, they were transformed. Because our Shastras also say, when you live with highly evolved saints, automatically because of the presence of that divinely vibration in them, their level of high consciousness, you will be influenced and you will transform. Merely by being there, Sat Sangha, merely by being in the presence of Mahatma, you will be transformed. That is what happened to all the people who were near to Gandhiji, who were with Gandhiji. And even the people with whom Gandhiji interacted, whether they were opponents, whether they were tyrants, whether they were brutal people, all such people also recognized that divinity in Gandhiji, that divine love, that divine compassion, that divine truthfulness, that divine godliness in Gandhiji. Because there is hardly anybody who interacted with Gandhiji and who could not see this. And such a great Mahatma, as I have told you on the very first day, the title got glory. The word Mahatma became glorious because it was attached to Gandhiji. There are innumerable number of incidents in Gandhiji's life. We took only few in these 7 days, but that itself was so much for us to understand what a great divine being Mahatma Ji was. Mahatma Gandhi was. We all should feel proud to be connected with the same country, the same land to which Mahatma Gandhi Ji was connected. And we are living in a free country, and he was the one who made it free. He was the one who inspired all. Even today, for all ills in the society, for all issues in the society, including political field, one solution, one remedy is the way of Gandhi. One quality, one point with Gandhiji taught, one quality with Gandhiji practiced and advocated. If one quality, if we follow, that is enough. That is enough in our life to uplift us, to take us into the heights of evolution. One point, any one point from Gandhiji's life, that is enough. 25 years Mahadev Desai was a secretary to Gandhiji. He wrote every day something in his diary about Gandhiji's living. And you know, because of his tuning to Gandhiji, and Gandhiji declared that fast unto death during Quit India movement time, so he left his body, Mahadev Desai. Thereafterwards, his son, Narayan Desai, who was also associated with Gandhiji, he was in his teens by then. As a child also he used to interact with Gandhiji. He started noting it afterwards. And all that is brought out into few volumes, which goes and goes and goes to depths of Gandhiji's real core of his being. The more we go deep into Gandhiji, the more godliness, the more divineness we discover. Divinity in action, divinity in the field, divinity in the forefront. It is very easy to talk about it in a meditation hall. It is more easy to talk about it in a devotional place where bhajans and satsangs are going on. It is easy to talk from the platforms, but it is impossible to live it on the field. And Gandhiji was only living it on the field. Just face it, live it, show it. Such a rare combination of such courage, such fearlessness, plus the truthfulness and the compassion. Very, very rare. So we are all blessed all these 7 days to get exposed to the Mahatma's qualities, principles, values, and his absolute oneness that he was into. We feel really blessed, and I feel myself very, very fortunate and blessed to get this opportunity to be able to conduct the satsangs for 7 days. Without your presence, this would not have happened. So I sincerely express my feelings of gratitude to each one of you, to all of you who could really be here and to make this satsang possible and give me an opportunity to explore into the depths of Mahatma Ji. You are all really fortunate and blessed. May Bhagavan Ramachandra Ji's grace be upon us, the most cherished Ishtadevam of Mahatma Gandhi Ji, and may Mahatma Gandhi Ji's spirit lead and guide us and help us to achieve the levels which he is into. Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Ramanama Varanane Sri Ramanama Varanane Rama 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 Raja Rama 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 Sita Rama 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 Gandhi Rama 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 Gandhi Rama सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतङ्गमय ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः श्री परमात्मने नमः श्री परब्रह्मणे नमः हरिः ॐ।